It's Eyes, a watchful game of wandering eyes furnished by Rockola. It's Jungle Hunt, with lots of tree-swinging action to rescue the fair maiden from the savages. Jungle Hunt, furnished by Taito America. It's Tempest, with fuse balls, pulsars, flippers, tankers, and spikers. Tempest, furnished by Atari. It's Triple Punch. Paint yourself a picture and punch out your opponents. Triple Punch, furnished by Thomas Automatics. Mark, game number 1 is Time Pilot, an exciting flight through time. If you've ever dreamed of a journey through time, get ready, because you're about to become the Time Pilot, racing your sleek jet at Mach speed, encountering a century of flying machines from the 1910 biplane to the UFOs of the future. Rescue parachuting pilots for extra points as you race through time. 100 years will pass before the eyes of the Time Pilot. Game 2 is Tutankhamun, a treasure search through dungeons. It's Tutankhamun, and you're traveling through the pyramid searching for the hidden treasure. Fire on the nasties trying to catch you and make points. When the nasties are in hot pursuit, run through the warp zone and the nasties won't follow, or use the flash to destroy them all at once. Pick up extra points by finding little treasure along the way to the secret door and the treasure beyond. Game 3, Burger Time. Help Chef Pepper build a burger. Build a burger. Help Chef Peter Pepper collect patties, cheese, lettuce, and buns. For bonus points, catch the pursuing hot dog, egg, and pickle in the burger. And if you can't catch them, immobilize them briefly by shaking pepper their way. Complete a burger on the platter and feast on your success. It's Burger Time. Game 4 is Blueprint. Mean Fuzzy Wuzzy meets up with JJ, our hero. And Game 5 is Swimmer, a wet and wild swim for treasure. Dive in and paddle your way upstream, avoiding driftwood and curious snapping turtles, scoring points as you go. Gather up the floating fruit for bonus points, but be ready to hold your breath and dive to elude the dangers of the river. Come on in, the water's fine, you're the swimmer. Game 1 is Pooh Yan, a pig out for little piggies. Game 2 is Ms. Pacman, a petite lady munching her way through the maze. It's Ms. Pacman munching her way petitely through the dots while being chased by 4 monsters. Every dot she munches is another point on her score as she munches her way toward the Energizers. Gobbling one of these, she can then pursue the blue monsters for more points, but she's running again when the monsters change back to their original colors. She'll score extra points if she catches the fruits that appear briefly in the maze. You've chosen Ms. Pacman, a very petite lady. Game 3, Donkey Kong, a game of rescue. You're Jumpman, and your goal is to rescue the lady from Donkey Kong. Reach the top and score points by jumping over the barrels hurled down on you by Donkey Kong. Make extra points by jumping up to get the hammer, and then use it to smash the barrels and the fireballs on that level. Move on up the ladder, jumping barrels and avoiding fireballs to reach the second hammer. Reach the top, and Donkey Kong grabs the lady and moves up, and you begin again. Game 4 is Moon Patrol, a terrestrial game in another world. Your mission is to pilot your moon wagon on the lunar surface, avoiding UFOs, rocks, and other lunar obstacles, and jumping over craters. Score points by firing on the enemy UFOs, by destroying or jumping over lunar rocks and other obstacles, and by jumping moon craters. Make bonus points by reaching the goals set for you in better than average time. Time for your drive on the moon. And Game 5, Super Zaxxon, a supersonic flight through space and time. Travel at supersonic speeds through the galaxy in your Super Zaxxon spacecraft. Soar past an ominous floating fortress, scoring points by battling hidden rockets, rotating turrets, tracking parabolic antennas, super spaceships, and maser barriers. Survive the Tunnel of Doom and face the fire-breathing dragon. It's Super Zaxxon. Game 2 is Super Pac-Man. A mild-mannered Pac-Man turns invincible. The mild-mannered Pac-Man mildly eats rows of fruit and objects and chomps a few monsters to rack up points. Special keys open gates to more fruit, and the super button control gives him an extra burst of super speed. Chomping a super dot, he changes to Super Pac-Man, 10 times his normal size, and able to chomp as he pleases, where he pleases, invincible to the monster's pursuit. It's the 25th century, and your mission as Buck Rogers is to liberate the planet of Zoom from the evil source ship. Race through heavily armed channels, through formidable smasher tunnels, and around the towering spires of a cosmic city, avoiding alien ships and heavy ground forces to reach the enemy source ship. You're the superhero of all time on a mission to rescue a planet. You're Buck Rogers. Little Red, our wily hero, pursues Dracula through a haunted house in Monster Bash. Zap the bats for points and light candles to energize the magic sword that gives Red mystical power to defeat the sly Dracula. Then move on to encounter Frankenstein and his Wolfman, and finally Chameleon Man and his spiders. It's a Monster Bash. Game number 1 is Pooyan, a pig out for little piggies. These little piggies cried wee 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 all the way to the wolves' hideaway, and now the mama pig must save them from their hungry jaws. Move her up and down in a cage while she throws meat to distract them for points and darts to puncture their balloons for more points. It's time to pig out with Pooyan. Game 4, Jungle Hunt, where love becomes the biggest game of all.
Let's find out from Kevin all about the Jungle Hunt game.
Mark, you're on a jungle hunt, swinging through the trees, out-monkeying the gorillas that threaten your grip, all in the hope of rescuing the fair maiden kidnapped by savages. Score points as you swing, then plunge into the river, avoiding man-eaters and the mysterious murk. But don't forget to surface for air, or your journey could be cut short. Keep up the hunt, for the maiden awaits somewhere beyond. And Game 5 is Eyes, a maze game that can see. It's Eyes. They're watching you, and you're watching them, traveling through the maze. Zap all pulsating objects to add to your score while avoiding the ever-watchful enemy eyes and the zaps that they hurl at you. Get all the pulsating objects in one maze and move on to the next. Your score continues to build, adding 50 points for every second you stay in a maze. Eyes, they're watching you. 2 of your favorite Parker Brothers home video game cartridges. The challenge awaits you, furnished by Parker Brothers. Heidi, for 3 correct answers, the whole band is right in your hand with the Casio VL Tone. 5 different instruments, 10 rhythms from rock to rumba, and a calculator too. The VL Tone from Casio, where miracles never cease. And for 4 correct answers, it's ColecoVision, the home video arcade system with effects just like in the arcades. Your vision is our vision. ColecoVision from Coleco. 3 correct answers gives you the tabletop version of Midway's Pac-Man, complete with joystick control, and even shows best score. The arcade game you take home with you, Midway's Pac-Man by Coleco. And for 4 correct answers, it's the Texas Instruments home computer for education, home finance, and entertainment. It's not just for playing, it's also for learning. A home computer furnished by Texas Instruments. Some of our Starcade contestants and some members of the studio audience will receive the famous red ball joystick from Wicco, making joysticks for actual arcade games like those used on Starcade. Wicco Command Control, the one and only arcade quality joystick for home use. The TI 5130 printer display desktop calculator from Texas Instruments. Anything you do with numbers, Texas Instruments can help you do better. Electronic Fun with Computers and Games is the magazine of the computer age. Easy to read, witty, and informative, it's the ultimate magazine for gamers and computer users of all ages. Electronic Fun with Computers and Games.